Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to do a deck tech on a really fun commander from Jumpstart. This is Neyith of the Dire Hunt. Really fun sort of fight club deck, as I like to call it. I'm sure some of you have heard of this before and heard it referred to as that. I think it's a really good description for it. But it's a legendary creature, human warrior for 2 and 2 green, and it says, whenever one or more creatures you control fight or become blocked, draw a card. Awesome card draw in Gruul colors. Very fun. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 2 and a green or blue, green or red, I'm sorry. If you do, double target creature power until end of turn. That creature must be blocked this combat if able. Alright, so a couple great abilities on there. If one of your creatures becomes blocked, draw a card. Or if it fights. So we're going to focus on things requiring to be blocked and playing a lot of fight spells and creatures that fight when they enter the battlefield. A lot of cool synergies around this deck and really fun to play. If you can get a lot of mana out, you could do a lot of cool fun stuff with this deck. So let's take a look first. We'll do the creatures starting out. First one, any green deck should be running some Beast Whisperer. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Alright? Next one, we got Skullwinder, and it says, when Skullwinder enters the battlefield, return target card from your graveyard to your hand, then choose an opponent. That player returns a card from their graveyard to their hand, alright? So this has got, the big thing with this is it's got Death Touch. So with this, we want to be able to have it fight another creature just to take them out. So it's a little bit of a removal. We have a lot of ways to make creatures fight. Having some Death Touch in here and also being able to get stuff back from your graveyard is really important. Alright. Next, we have good old Vigor. All right. It says trample. If damage we dealt to another creature you control, prevent the damage. Put a +1/+1 counter on a creature for each one damage prevented this way. All right. So if we have some creatures fight and this is on the battlefield, all that damage is prevented. The fighting damage is prevented because of Vigor. Very nice. And when it's put into a graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. So very nice to help protect our creatures when they're fighting. We got some Fierce Empath, so we can go and search for some creatures with power 6 or greater, like Vigor. Alright. Converted mana cost 6 or greater. Next, we got some mana ramp in here. We have Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. A lot of times this deck, we got some big creatures coming in, so we're going to be able to draw some cards, because a lot of time we're going to have the biggest creature that enters the battlefield, most of the time with this deck, at least. We hope so, unless somebody's playing some, crazy Eldrazi decks or something like that. We're probably going to be drawing a lot of cards using Selvala, so very nice there. Next up, we have Thorn Mammoth. Fights creatures when it comes to the battlefield. Alright. Next, we have Ilhard the Razeboar, which is just nice because when we attack with it, we get to put something from our hand on the battlefield tapped and attacking, and then return it to our hand. So we just keep doing that every time. And sometimes it's really fun because you can do that, put some cards when they enter the battlefield. They'll have some fight triggers too, which is really cool. Next we have Orin Frostfang, a snow creature. Attacking creatures you control have Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Alright, so we have some more card draw here. Gives other creatures some evasion because they do have Death Touch, so it's more likely that instead of them blocking our creatures and their creatures dying, our creatures could get through, and then we can draw some cards. Next we have, oops, put that back up here. We have Engulfing Slagworm, and it says whenever Engulfing Slagworm becomes blocked, or whenever it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, destroy that creature. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So again, we can make this thing fight. It's a 7/7, or not fight, but if we do make it fight, I mean, it's going to be taking some creatures out because it is a 7/7. But we can also, using Neyith's ability, make a creature block this, and then we get to destroy that creature and gain life equal to its toughness. So that's really nice there. Destroying some creatures and gaining some life. Okay, next we have Gruul Rage Beast. Whenever Gruul Rage Beast or another creature enters the battlefield under control, that creature fights target creature an opponent controls. Alright, so we got some more fight spells there. Gargos, Vicious Watcher. We do have a couple extra Hydras in here, so it does make the Hydras a little bit less to cast, which is nice. And whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, and this gets to fight another creature that we don't control. So some more fight triggers here. Really nice. It's an 8/7, big beefy guy. Taking out some of their little guys, like some maybe like their hate bears or something like that would be really cool. Really nice. Okay. Next, we have Voracious Hydra, and again, this gives us the opportunity to do some fighting when it enters the battlefield. If you got Gargos out, that helps out because you know, we get to put some extra counters on there, make it even bigger, and then fight something. Drawing cards with Neyith. This one we got a little bit of ramp in here. We got Sakura Tribe Elder, so we can sack it right away, go get ourselves a basic land, put it on the battlefield. Thunderfoot Baloth, however you say it. Really nice card here. It's got Lieutenant, and as long as you control your commander, it gets +2/+2, and other creatures you control have +2/+2 and trample. So giving our other creatures trample and having +2/+2 is really nice, helps out. Alright, we got Goreclaw, Terror of Calcisma, making some of our bigger creature spells 2 less to cast. Awesome in a creature-based green deck. Probably going to be running this card. Next, very nice card here. Ronus the Indomitable has Death Touch and Indestructible. So if we have this on the battlefield, we're going to have this card fight pretty much every single time. This is going to be our fighter. It's going to be knocking people out, knocking out their creatures, killing them with the Death Touch, and it's not going to die itself, which is really cool. It can't attack or block unless you control another creature's power 4 or greater. Yeah, it's alright. We got plenty of that stuff. Alright. And then we can also give other creatures trample. So, very nice card there. Next, a really fun card in this deck, Apex Altosaur. When it enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Alright? And it has Enrage. So, whenever Apex Altosaur is dealt damage, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So, it's going to just take out, you know, if somebody has like several little smaller creatures, like 2, 3, 4 creatures, I mean, this thing's probably going to die. I mean, that's all right, because we're just going to have it keep fighting, and it's eventually going to lose all of its toughness, but it's going to keep fighting, and it's going to fight until it takes out maybe 2, 3, sometimes even 4 creatures if they're small enough. So, really cool thing here, and we're going to draw every time. So, this fights like 3 creatures when it enters the battlefield. We're going to draw 3 cards. Very, very awesome card here. 9 mana, it's a little steep, but definitely a good one. Next, we have Quartz Wood Crasher. It has Trample. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control trample, deal damage, combat damage to a player, create an XX green dinosaur beast creature token with Trample, where X is the amount of damage those creatures dealt to that player. So hopefully we can make some awesome like beast and dinosaur beast tokens out of this thing. A lot of our creatures are going to have Trample. We're going to give them Trample with other things. So this is definitely a great card to have in there. Next, we have Neyith Canine, another indestructible creature, so it could definitely do some fighting and not die, which is good. It makes creature spells 1 less to cast, so again, making our creature spells, we do have some big ones, so we want to make them a little bit cheaper to cast, so this is really nice. We can pay 3, 2, and a green, and reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you put it into your graveyard. So, yeah, kind of like some good card draw here. We do have a lot of creatures, so that definitely helps out. Next one. We have Woolen Tracker. It has 2 target creature control, fights another target creature. So you have another pay 2 and have some stuff fight. Draw some cards if you have your commander out. Very nice. Next we have God Eternal Rodus. When it enters the battlefield, double the power of each other creature you control until end of turn. Those creatures gain vigilance in their turn. So doubling our power, having creatures with trample are really going to help out. I'm going to swing out with this guy. We have some things on the battlefield and hopefully take somebody out. Next we have Vexing Shusher in here because it can't be countered, and we can pay a red or a green, and X spell can't be countered. So we have something big, like maybe Galta perhaps. This doesn't get countered. Just pay a red, play Galta, doesn't get countered. Sorry. Awesome. Next one, we have Kogla, the Titan Ape. Another fighter, enters the battlefield, it fights, and then when it attacks, you get to destroy some artifacts. Great card. Next one, we have Acidic Slime. Green staple, taking out some artifacts or enchantments, and it's got Death Touch. Make it fight something else, kill it, then maybe use something to return to the battlefield later on. Alright, we got Foe Razor Regent. Enters the battlefield, you may have it fight target creature you don't control, so another fighting card. Very nice, it's a 4/5. Whenever a creature you control fights, now this is the most important ability on here, put 2+1/+1 counters on it at the beginning of the next end step. So if that creature doesn't die, this card's going to put some 2+1/+1 counters on that creature. So if we have some like indestructible stuff like Ronus, some other things are indestructible, this is going to be nice to have that out. Next we have Elder Gargaroth. Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. Some more card draw here, some life gain, creating 3/3 beast tokens. Really great card. Only 5 mana for a 6/6, and with all those abilities, pretty awesome. Next, we have Ravager Warm. When it enters the battlefield, you choose 1. Most of the time, it's going to fight something so that we can get some card draw. All right, and we can destroy a target land. So if we have something like a really problematic land that somebody has, with an activated ability that isn't a activated ability that isn't a mana ability. This will be good to have in our deck so we can take that land out. All right. Next we have Grothma, All Devouring. Other creatures other creatures have whenever this creature attacks, you may have it fight Grothma, All Devouring. When Grothma leaves the battlefield, each player draw cards equal to the amount of damage dealt to Grothma by turns they control, or by this turn by sources they controlled. So again, some more card draw, being able to get those fight triggers, even more card draw with our commander. Definitely a must-have in this deck. Next we have a Solemn, Simulacrum, Sad Robot, just a little bit of ramp. Going and getting some basic land, getting basic land, putting a card, then letting it die. Maybe having it fight something, die to draw a card, you know. All right, Vivian Monsters Advocate. We have this in here just to create some 3/3 beasts, and you can look at the top card of your library in time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. That is the ability that we're really looking for. We don't really care about her loyalty abilities. We're really just looking at that static ability at the top up there, most important one. Next thing we have Domri and Arcabolus. Creatures you control get +1/+0. You can +1 it, add a red and a green. Creature spells you cast this turn can't be countered. It's another way to keep our creatures from getting countered and putting them onto the battlefield. And then, of course, it's -2 is target creature fights target creature you don't control. So, keeping things from getting countered, adding mana, and fighting abilities. Alright, so those are our creatures and planeswalkers we have there. Looks like we're getting into the artifacts now. Let's see. Alright, let's take a look. We have Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Impulse, Ronus' Monument to make things cheaper to cast, Great Henge for some life gain, some card draw, and putting some counters on creatures. Bow of Nylea is a really awesome card here. I love this one. Attacking creatures you control have Death Touch again. Giving creatures our Death Touch is really going to be nice in this deck. And then we can choose one, put a +1/+1 counter target creature. Bow of Nylea deals 2 damage, or put 4 target cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library in any order. So a couple of different abilities that it's got on there. Really good artifact to have in this deck. Alright, next we got some sorceries, which are going to be our ramp and our fight spells. So we have 3 visits, Farseek, Cultivate, Sky Shroud Clean to go get those for us. Then we have Overrun, so it's kind of a game finisher here. All creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. Overwhelming Stampede kind of does the same thing until next turn. Creatures you control gain trample and get X+X+X. X is the greatest power among creatures you control. So another finisher. We got Decimate, so we got some removal, destroy target artifact, target creature, target enchantment, and target land. So all those things have to be out on the battlefield to use this, but we'll use it. Primal Might, fighting, put X+X+X on a creature, have it fight. And then we have Prey Upon, a 1-mana fight spell. Very nice here. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Alright, so those are our sorceries. Next, we'll get into our instants, which we have a whole lot of. We try to find fight spells that are instants. These are the most important ones because they're a lot quicker. Play them on our opponent's turns when something big comes down that we need to get rid of right away, where we don't have those ETB triggers. We want to be able to do it on our opponent's turn. Take out that creature that they play pretty much immediately. So first, best one in here, Citizen Tactics. It has Strive. It costs 1 green more to cast for each target beyond the first. That means you can have it just keep on going. You can like pay extra and have more targets. Until end of turn, any number of target creatures each get +1/+1 and gain. This creature fights another target creature. So we can pay that extra mana, put +1/+1 counters on a bunch of, or not counters, but giving creatures +1/+1. Have them fight other creatures. Tap them, fight, draw a bunch of cards, kill a bunch of our opponent's creatures. Especially if we have some Death Touch stuff in here. We're going to take out a lot of stuff with this card. It's very, very nice. Okay. Next one, Inscription of Abundance. So, we can put some counters on stuff, have things fight. Very nice card. Pounce, target creature you control, fights a target creature you don't control for 2 mana. Pit Fight, target creature you control, fights another target creature, so we could fight our own if we really wanted it to. Titanic Brawl, costs 2, spell costs 1 less to cast. If you target a creature you control with the +1/+1 counter on it, a lot of times we're going to have creatures that do have +1/+1 counters on it, so it's only going to cost us 1 mana. Another fight spell. We got Court of Calling in here just so that we could dial something up and get a big creature out that we need. We got Beast Within, a little bit of removal spells. Obscuring Haze, preventing combat damage, or preventing all damage that we dealt this turn by creatures your opponents control, so it's basically combat damage. Some more card draw with Return to the Wild Speaker. little protection for our creatures and our permanents, heroic intervention in case we need to save some stuff, keep our commander on the battlefield, and finally we have Harrow so that we can sacrifice the land and go get 2 more. All right, now we have our enchantments. Pretty important one here. Right at the top, we have Rhythm of the Wild, which we want to basically give our creatures haste. So they can either have haste or put a +1/+1 counter on it. Depends on, it's pretty situational, but a lot of times we're probably going to want to give them haste because we do have some big creatures in here. All right. We have Groot's Uprising, again, giving our creatures haste, and when a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield, draw a card. Oh, it gives it trample. Does it give it haste? No. Yeah, it doesn't give it haste, but it gives it trample. We want to be able to give some of our creatures trample. That's right. This is a card that's really going to help us out for blocking invasion plans. Each creature blocks whenever able. Attacking player chooses how each creature blocks. All right. So every creature has to block. So when you attack, every creature is going to have to block, and you get to pick how those creatures block. So if you want to put up like one of their small creatures in front of your big ones, or if you want to put out something that's kind of big and beefy and you want to put it in front of one of your death touchers, you get to pick. You get to pick what blocks what, which is a really cool card and helps us out with Neyith's ability too. This is a fun card. At the beginning of your upkeep, what is it, Guild Feud? At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent reveals the top 3 cards of his or her library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield and puts the rest into his or her graveyard. You do the same with the top 3 cards of your library. If 2 creatures are put on the battlefield this way, those creatures fight each other. Very fun card. I mean, it's every upkeep you do this. You're putting stuff on the battlefield and stuff's fighting. It's just, it's a lot of fun. All right, and finally, Cartouche of Strength we have in here. Enchanting creatures enters the battlefield, and you may have it fight target creature and opponent control, so you don't have to, but you may have it do that, which we're probably going to do. And enchanted creature gets +1/+1, has trample, so more trample abilities. All right, so that's pretty much the entire deck. We do have our mana base here. Oh, did I miss something back here? Oh, I guess we got Brass Tonner. I guess that was at the bottom for some reason. It's got Indestructible, and when it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. So we could have stuff like fight this guy and do that damage to our opponent's face, which is kind of fun. All right, so our mana base. We have Stomping Ground. Got our Shock Land. We got our Check Land, Rootbound Crag. We got a Temple. We have the Fast Land, Cinderglade. We have a Cycling Land with Sheltered Thicket. Gruul Turf, so we can have that bounce land, get some extra mana going on. We do have a lot of creatures in this deck, so Castle Grandbrig does go pretty well in this because we can get a little bit more mana that we need going on. We have Skarg, the Rage Pits. Target creature gets +1/+1, gains trample in the turn if you pay a green and a red, so it's nice to give some creatures trample if we need it. We got Command Tower, and then just a bunch of basic lands after that. We're not really trying to do a whole lot of, different stuff. We have more green or forest than we do mountains, so we have a bunch of mountains in there. So that is our mana base. Nothing too spectacular. And if you guys want to give me some tips on what you think would be some good lands to add to this, some good utility lands, I am all open for that. I haven't really had trouble getting my mana down correctly. I do have more green than red in here, so that obviously helps out because we're playing a lot more green big creature spells. But yeah, that's the deck. So let me know what you think. Neyith of the Dire Hunt, really fun deck. A lot of interaction, which I enjoy. We got some removal through fighting. We got a lot of card draw, which I really love. I like Gruul a lot. It's fun making big beefy creatures and having them swinging away at people. So let me know what you think. Any additions that you think I could add to this, anything I could take away, what I could do to the mana base to make it a little bit better. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.